Hi, my name is Maite Barayo, and this is my Unit 3 motion analysis of shooting a soccer ball. So, my patient for this project was Ian Andrade. He is a varsity soccer player and he plays the six. So, when I approached Ian on doing this project with me, he had told me that he wanted to improve his shooting with his non-dominant foot since he doesn't get as much practice as with his dominant foot. So the purpose of this was to improve his shooting with both feet, but mostly his non-dominant. I wanted to give him a better understanding of how to shoot the ball correctly with his left foot since it doesn't come as natural. And I wanted to make the shots more consistent with his non-dominant. So my plan for this was to take videos of his dominant and his non-dominant foot and compare to see what we need to improve on and how we can improve on it. And then I was also going to reanalyze after the project is over to see if there's any improvement. I did also want to keep two constants to see if there's really any improvement with his shooting. So I had him take 5 steps from wherever the ball is placed when he was shooting with his dominant and his non-dominant. So another constant that I had was that we were having him shoot from the penalty area with both feet. So this was his approach before. This is his right foot. So that's going to stay consistent. And it did as we did more reps. But his left foot was kind of not as natural looking when he did it. He kind of did a stutter step and just looked kind of awkward. His plant foot also here with his left foot is a little too far from the ball to get the accuracy that we wanted from him. So we had to improve on that too. This is his contact with the ball. So the initial contact with his right foot is more at the laces and kind of more at the bottom of the ball, while his left shot was not as consistent and he more hit it with the inside of his shoe or his cleat when you're supposed to hit with the laces for a shot. His contact with the ball is also more towards the middle, which will also take the accuracy down a bit. So the first follow through part, he kind of has a better follow through with his right, which was expected, but it also looked more natural and he went further across his body than he did with his left leg. He stopped not midway, but too soon to get the power that he wanted and also to get the ball where he wanted it to be placed. And the same with this. For his right foot, he took a step right after the shot, which comes natural, of course, with your dominant foot. But for his left foot, he kind of did a stutter step as well. And here, this foot right here is a little too lifted. So we were just talking about trying to take the step sooner to be a better follow through. So differences that I saw from his right foot, which is his dominant, to his left, were that his approach was smoother and that his contact was a lot better. He followed through way more and kind of takes the next step already because it's what he's been practicing. While with his left foot, it's kind of more awkward looking. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but it just doesn't seem to flow as much. So after we talked to him about how to improve, I had him move his plant foot with his right, which would be his right plant foot, closer to the ball when he steps. And we got that consistently. So here his foot is further from the ball, but this one is closer. His contact after was still kind of with the inside of his cleat, but he did start to improve on where he's connecting with the ball, which is further down than here. Because here he's hitting it with the middle, and here it's more under the ball. The follow through, he did start following through more, I feel like. And his foot here is higher, which was that awkward, like, stutter step that I was talking about. Whereas here it looks more natural and it kind of moved him to the next step naturally and effortlessly. As for this, you can see that the foot is lower to the ground than the initial one. And he took the step right away and he started to turn his hips more, which was really good for following through because that's what he does with his right foot, which is his dominant. So he got more comfortable and like consistent with that after we analyzed. So, some improvements that I noticed after the motion analysis was that his plant foot is a lot closer to the ball, which is good, and it stayed consistent. He connected to the ball more with his laces as we kept going, although not it didn't stay that consistent, but it did start getting better. He did start following through more, which is really good for the accuracy and the technique and form. So we were really happy about that. And he seemed way more comfortable with the stance after. So my thoughts on this project were that he improved overall. He does still have some things that he could work on, but I also think he has a better understanding on how to correctly hit the ball with his non-dominant because he doesn't get as many reps with that foot. And he started staying more consistent with his non-dominant foot, which is really good because when we first analyzed, he stayed a lot more consistent with his right than his left. So getting it to move up and closer, closing the gap of how consistent each foot is, was a really good thing for us. Thank you for listening.